Hello children. In last video we have taken information about centrifugal force, about the gravitational force, about the revolution of the earth, revolution of the moon, and how the gravitational force of the sun and the moon are occurring on the experience of a tides. Now here we are going to see the types of a tides. First type of a tide is called as a spring tide and the second type of a tide is called as a neap tide. What is spring tide? On the new moon day and full moon days, the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon act in the same direction, leading to spring tide. Spring tides are higher than the average tides and lower than the average low tides. Neap tides on the first and the third quarter day of each month. The forces of both the sun and the moon operate at right angles on the earth, leading to neap tides. Neap tides are a little lower than the average high tides and little higher than the average low tides. I am going to put some colorful images of spring tides and neap tides. Children, just observe these images very carefully. One should understand what is meant by spring tide and neap tide with the help of the image properly. Let's see the effects of the tide. First, with the high tide, fish move into the creeks and this helps fishing activity. Second, the tides clear the water and hence the coast became clean. Due to tides, ports do not get filled with sediments. Ship can move up to the ports during high tide. During high tide, seawater can be stored in salt pans from which salt can be obtained. The tidal force can be used in the generation of electricity. The tides help in maintaining the mangroves and the coastal biodiversity. A lack of an understanding of the timings of a high tide and low tide may cause accidents to swimmers entering the sea. Now, timings of the tides changing daily. It is very important to understand that tides are not coming every day on a specific time. The timings of the tides are changing every day. The timings of the tides change daily. The time difference between two high tides and two low tides within a day is of 12 hours and 25 minutes. The timing of tides of any particular day are 50 minutes ahead of the timing of the tides on its previous day. Means the timing is not specific every day. It is 50 minutes ahead every day. Now we are going to learn about waves. You might have observed the waves in the sea. So what is the waves? How is the structure? How waves are useful to the human being? That information we are going to take now. Waves. The seawater gets pushed by the wind and ripples are generated on the water surface. These are called as a waves. The seawater moves up and down or slightly forward and backward due to the waves. The waves bring energy contained in them to the coast. They break in the shallow water near the coast. Large or a small waves are formed continuously at the surface of the sea. Generation of waves is a natural and regularly occurring phenomenon. These waves are occurring regularly. One need to see the structure of the waves. Children can see the diagram which is given in the textbook, and I am also going to put one colorful diagram to understand the structure of the waves. The raised up portion of the wave is called as a crest. and the depressed one is called as a trough. The vertical distance between crest and the following trough is called as a amplitude of the wave. The distance between two successive crests and troughs is called as a wavelength. The wavelength, its amplitude and the velocity depend on the velocity of the wind. Means the wavelength, its amplitude, the velocity depends upon the velocity of a wind. What is velocity of waves? Let's understand what is the velocity of a waves. If we stand at the coast, we feel that the waves are coming towards the coast. If a floating object is thrown at a distance in the sea, we find the object moving up and down at the same place. It does not come to the coast. It means the water forming the wave also does not come to the coast. Thus, the velocity in the wave does not move what moves in the energy. Now, one should understand what are the reasons for the generation of the wave. The main reason of wave generation is the wind. At times, waves are also generated due to earthquakes and volcanic eruption occurring below the floor of the sea. Just now I told you that sometimes waves are occurring due to earthquake. So, earthquake which takes place inside the sea is called as a tsunami. And during the time of tsunami, the great waves are occurring in the sea and ocean. Destructive waves of a great height that are generated due to earthquake or a volcanic eruption occurring below the floor of the sea is called as a tsunami. Tsunami waves cause huge loss of property and life. In 2004, tsunami waves are generated because of the earthquake that took place near Sumatra Island and Indonesia. They devastated the east coast of India as well as Sri Lanka. At the times of risk of tsunamis, it is better to go away from the coast towards high altitude. In this way, loss of the lodge can be avoided. Means one should not stay near the coastal area during the time of a tsunami. Let's see the effects of the waves. The waves cause erosion along the headlands. They create beaches in the protected location in the bays. So, these are all information about the types of tides, about the waves, what are the effects of waves we have learnt in this part of the video. After this, children, I am going to give you one assignment which you need to write in your classwork notebook, and I am going to check the answers also. So, thank you very much. Stay at home, stay happy, take care of yourself. Thank you.